run this. So if I want to solve D part, the density of the bacteria in the Petri dish for R less than 1 to 4 is modeled by the function G is defined by. So now they're giving the density by some function. For what value of K 1 less than K less than, you might ask me, boss, this is a calculator question. Nowhere you are using calculator. Without calculator, happily I was able to solve A, B, C. Then how can I say it is a calculator based question? So definitely part D, whenever they give such complicated functions, unless until you have calculator, you cannot solve that question here. So you might get, if it is for 2 marks, you get 1 mark if you write the concept properly without substituting the values. But everyone try to get one calculator, you'll get perfect marks. Yeah. For what value of K, G of K is equal to average value of G of R in the interval. So immediately you need to get what is the average. So when I'm explaining, I told you what is the average value of a function f of x in the interval a to b. So what is the average value of a function? 1 upon b minus a integral of a to b f of x dx. If you don't know, is an opportunity for you to know average value of a function f of x in the given interval a to b. First, you should know this formula. This is the average value of the function. So I want to find the average value of that g of k is equal to average value of g of r in the interval 1 to 4. So it is equal to in the interval. So I'll write 1 upon b minus a, which is 4 minus 1 integral of 1 to 4 g of r into d of r, g of r into dr. So I'll write in whiteboard. So g of k is equal to 1 upon b minus a, which is 4 minus 1 integral of 1 to 4 into g of r into d of r. But they clearly gave us g of r as 2 minus 16 into cos of 1.57 root r whole cube. It's a complicated function. You cannot do without calculator here. So 2 minus 16 into cos of 1.57 I think root r, root r ka whole cube, into dr. So if you have a calculator, if you substitute this in calculator, you'll get answer in seconds. So first you need to find what is this value. You'll get some value 10, 20, 30, whatever is the value. Assume that you are getting a value as 10. Now g of k, what is g of k? 2 minus 16 into cos of 1.57 root k whole cube. This is my g of k. Suppose I don't know what is the value. I'm assuming 10 or 100 or 200. So if the answer is 10, you just need to plug in here 10. Again, you need to use calculator. You will get the answer as k. So you can solve this in calculator in 2 ways. You can graph this function. You will get some graph because it's at an increasing function. So let it be like this. So I need to see where it is equivalent to 10. At 10, you draw a line. See the corresponding value of x. So k is equal to that x value. This is how you need to solve. This is the way the calculator will come into the picture. This question cannot be solved without calculator for part B. But part A and part B, part C happily can be solved by using your brain. Even you don't have a calculator, but advisable to have it. So this is how you solve the question number 1. I hope everyone is clear the way I solved question number 1. Still you have doubts, you can let me know. What is integrating Rama? Niranjana, just unmute yourself, Amma, and ask me your doubt. I did not understand the question.
So like
which part, Amma? Which part are you speaking first of all?
In D.
D. Tell me, Amma.
Like according to the formula, we're supposed to integrate like 2 minus 16 cos 1.57.
Yeah, that you will input in calculator, no, automatically it will give you answer.
That like in calculator, do we type like?
Yeah, this entire function you need to type in the calculator.
But we don't have the values of r, right? Do we consider the limits?
Yeah, this entire you need to do it, Amma. This entire thing. definite integral. So since this is a definite integral, once you input this in the calculator, it will give a definite value. You need to input the entire value into dr, this function. You will not have x into dx. Input this right now. If you have a graphic calculator, so people are asking me what to buy. So TI Inspire CX Cash, or even if you have Casio model is also okay. So TI Inspire CX Cash is the latest or the version which frequently used, but any TI Inspire CX model you can use, or any Casio model also works. Input this is what you need to practice. The moment you have calculators, this is what you need to practice. Just input in the calculator, keep this in bracket, you'll get answer in seconds, which manually you cannot find. So divide by 4, you get some value. Then again, you need to equate that value to this function. Suppose it is 10, then you'll get the value of R. That is how you need to find answer for part D. Okay, yeah, I hope I'm clear. See how simple is this? There is no magic at all in this. You just need to know what is the average value here. You just need to know if the function is increasing and decreasing. What is the effect of right Riemann sum and left Riemann sum? For part B, you just need to know what is the Riemann sum. For part A, you just need to know y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. So concepts are simple, very simple. If you understand them, you'll apply in seconds and you get answers. And you should only know how to use calculator for part D. If your concepts are not clear, you do something, you never get answer and they won't give any marks. Yeah. Okay. So now let me move on to part question number 2. So it's, yeah, I think I'll explain question number 1. Till 9, I'll explain. Again, I'll take the class here on Saturday, I'll explain, but I'll give one more paper. Please do solve sincerely. Please do solve sincerely. Since I'm recording this session, I'll upload. You can watch it again and again if you want. But you, once I say now, I told you average value of a function f of x, you need to keep that in mind. You need to keep what is right Riemann sum, left Riemann sum in mind. What is underestimate and overestimate in mind. And please do write this function. Since the function is increasing, you cannot say from the graph it is, no, they'll not give marks. Since the function is an increasing, and since we are using the right Riemann sum, we get overestimate. Yeah, perfect. Now let me solve question number 2. Yeah, generally I see it here. They give question based on the parametric speed, velocity, and acceleration function, or parametric function is what generally question number 2 in the calculator model. In most of the papers, you can see that. Velocity vector. Okay. So they gave for a time t greater than or equal to 0, a particle moves in the xy plane with the position x of t and y of t, and velocity vector, they gave velocity vector. So if you have position, you people are very good in physics. How do you find velocity vector? X dash of t. Velocity vector is generally given by, if I know the position vector, how do you get the velocity vector here? X dash of t into I plus y dash of t into j is your velocity vector. If you know x of t and y of t, you'll differentiate and you'll get, you write in this form, you get the velocity vector. So they gave you directly velocity vector. So this is x dash of t and this is y dash of t. So people, you don't know, you are learning now on good point. So they gave me x dash of t and y dash of t. And they also gave at time t equal to 0, what is x and y? What is the position of the particle when time t equal to 0? So this is what is the information that is given to me in the question. So the moment this is given to me in the question, now I need to find what is the speed of the particle at time t equal to 1.2. Find the acceleration vector of the particle at time t equal to 1.2. So first of all, we need to have some basic understanding. So when they give position, velocity is x dash of t comma y dash of t, velocity vector. I can also write like this, or I can write x dash of t into I plus y dash of t into j, or I can simply write x dash of t comma y dash of t. Simply I can write this. For these questions, you require a lot of calculator here. Without calculator, doing the question is impossible. So we need to definitely have calculator for this question. But let me explain the best. Whoever have calculator, please implement. I hope for part D, you have done the question. If not, after the class, you need to find what is integral of 1 to 4, 2 minus 16 cos of 1.57 root r whole cube into dr. Please do. Since I've done, wrote on the paper, it is fixed in my mind. If you do, then only it will fix. No, I use calculator in exam. Nothing you can do in the exam. And even you'll get a doubt like this. Can I find the value of this? Definitely you'll be able to find the value of this because there is a definite integral. You'll get a value. Please do once, you'll become perfect. Now, once velocity vector is given, How do you find the speed? Speed is given by modulus of velocity, correct, right? This is what is the relation between the speed and the velocity. So I know velocity vector. If I need to find speed, speed is, since modulus of velocity, velocity is x dash of t comma y dash of t. So modulus means square root of x dash of t whole square plus y dash of t whole square. This is the speed function, but they're asking me the speed when 1.2. So speed at 1.2 is given by square root of x dash of 1.2 whole square plus y dash of 1.2 whole square. Already they gave x dash of t, no need to integrate this function. You just need to plug in here, use your wonderful calculators. This also here, keep t in radians. If you keep in degrees, again, make sure that you keep your calculator in radians. You make mistakes. You'll get it. Answers are there for this, but they don't give all these explanations. They say in their own way and go it off. They don't say speed is equal to modulus of velocity of t. You have a lot of scope to learn things here. Velocity is given by derivative of x of t, that is x dash of t, y dash of t. Speed is modulus of v of t. So you just find this. Everyone should find now or after the class and become perfect. Then you'll become confident. Okay, I can easily ace a question in SA, that is AP calculus. Please do 1.2 minus 1 into e power 1.2 whole square, sine of 1.2 to the power of 1.25 whole square. That will give you the S of 1.2, square root of 1.2 minus 1 into e power 1.2. This is your x dash of 1.2 is the whole square plus sine of 1.2 to the power of 1.25 ka whole square. This, whatever is the value, that will be the distance. Okay, so many units the particle has traveled. Now I need to find the acceleration vector. So how do you find the acceleration vector when the velocity vector is given or when the position vector is given? So the relation between acceleration vector and the position vector is x double dash of t into I plus y double dash of t into j. This is the relation between position and the acceleration. Means acceleration, if you want also write in these terms, you can write it as x double dash of t comma y double dash of t will give you the acceleration of the given particle at time at any time. So you already have x dash of t, you find x double dash of t. You need to differentiate this function using your calculator. You can use calculator third, fourth, fifth. If I'm explaining now, I think mostly I can explain. I'll not use even 0.01% of calculator and I'll solve it. Even they're difficult questions because I need to do. But here you are required to use calculator. So try to find the differentiation of this using your calculator. Derivative of d by dx of, no need to keep only t, x minus 1 into e power x square. So similarly keep d by dt of d by dx of sine of x power 1.25 and put at x is equal to 1.2. At x is equal to 1.2, you need to find that. Then you'll get some value for x double dash of t, like some 10, and you'll get some value for y double dash of t, some 5 or 20 or whatever is. That should be your answer. Please do find derivative of this function at t equal to 1.2, because clearly they're asking what is the acceleration vector. Without solving, if you think you just know, you cannot do, you'll miss so many marks. So you please use your calculator wisely, solve it, check the answers, then only get it. If not, please do type the model of your calculator in YouTube and see how to do differentiation of a function. Clearly you will get it. How to do differentiation of a function at a particular point, you will get it once you learn sufficient. Just 1 minute work. So you'll get two values, 10 comma 20 or whatever it is, you'll plug in there. So you'll get, so since there are only 3 parts, each question is for 8 points, you might get 2 points because the question is not difficult. I think it is for 2 points. So first part is done. If anyone still has doubt or you ask me, so I just need to know 2 simple things. Speed is modulus of velocity and acceleration is v dash of t, that is x double dash of t comma y double dash of t. Okay, acceleration vector. Very good. Now I need to find what is the total distance that is traveled by the object. So how do you find the total distance that is traveled by the object? When I'm explaining you this concept, I told you total distance traveled by the object is given by, if I know the speed of the particle or if I know the velocity of the particle, how do you find the total distance of the total distance traveled by the particle from A to B is given by integral of A to B. Total distance traveled is equal to, if you want, you can check the notes, modulus of V of t dt. Modulus of V of t is S of t. So integral of A to B S of t dt in the interval from 0 to 1.2. So A is 0, B is 1.2, S of t is square root of t minus 1 e t square whole square plus sine of t 1.25 whole square into dt. You just plug in, you cannot integrate this with your brain. You just do this, you'll get answer in seconds. You'll get answer in seconds. You just integrate this function in your calculator, you'll see wonders. You are not required to do anything. You just need to know this simple formula. Total distance traveled by an object is given by integral of A to B S of t dt or modulus of V of t dt. The simple formula, if you know, you can happily find the total distance traveled by the object. Correct? Very good. Now let me come to the third part. I'm not completing because I'm not using this calculation, but you need to complete this after the class. If not, it is equivalent to that you have not done anything. But see how easy the questions are. I plan to show to you the questions are easy. Part A is simple, part B is dead simple. You just need to know the basic formulas. Now let us come to the part C. What is this here? Yeah. Find the coordinate of the point at which the particle is farthest to the left for t greater than or equal to 0. So, find the coordinates of the point at which the particle is farthest to the left for t greater than or equal to 0. Okay, okay. Means farthest means I need to find the maximum or the minimum value of this function. Okay, yeah. Explain why there is no point at which the particle is farthest to the right for t greater than. Okay, first let me do part A for C, then I will come back to part B. Part B is just enhancement of part A. Now I need to see, he's asking you to find the coordinates at which the particle is farthest to the left. If this is the way the particle is moving, I need to know farthest to the left. What is the coordinates of the point? Means I need to find my x of t and y of t. So first, to find this, I need to know at which point the particle will be farthest. Means I need to find where the function has maximum or the minimum. Means I need to find the critical point. See how well they are framing the question here. So what is the first thing that I need to find? I need to find the critical point. What is the meaning of critical point? The point where the derivative of the function is undefined or the derivative of the function is 0. So I need to move particle is farthest to the left, means I need to see where my x dash of t is equal to 0. I need to see where my x dash of t equal to 0. So x dash of t function is t minus 1 into e power t square. This can never be 0. So this should be 0. So t minus 1 should be 0. T equal to 1. So t equal to 1 is one critical point for this function. Why? Because the derivative of the function x dash of t becomes 0 when t is equal to 1. Now let me find whether it is a minimum or maximum. So what is my function here? What is my x dash of t? T minus 1 into e power t square. Now if t is less than 1, if t is less than 1, t minus 1 is positive or negative? Negative. This is a positive value. Negative into positive is negative. If t is greater than 1, t minus 1 is positive, positive. So now the derivative is changing from negative to positive, negative to this is positive, this is negative. Why? Because slope is greater than 0. This is positive because this is making an acute angle. So means if the function is changing from negative to positive, if the derivative of the function is changing from negative to positive, what did we discuss? The function will have local minimum. So since the function will have local minimum, so minimum means this should be the farthest point. So at t equal to 1 at critical point, at t equal to 1 is the critical point, and the critical point is the maximum value or the minimum value. Minimum value, since it is minimum value, we consider it as farthest from the given point. So I just need to do what I need to do here. I need to find x of 1 and y of 1. What is the question? I need to find coordinates of the point which is at the farthest, means I need to find x comma y here, but I don't know at what point. So at t equal to 1 means I need to find x of 1 and y of 1. How do you find x of 1 and y of 1? So x of 1 is given by here. See here how easy it is. X of 1 is given by here. They clearly gave me what is the value of x of 0 and y of 0. They gave me those values. So x of 1 is given by x of 0 plus integral of 0 to 1 x dash of t dt. Integral of 0 to 1 x dash of t dt is same as x of 1 minus x of 0. X of 0 get cancelled. So x of 1 is same as this. Most important formula. So x of b is given by x of a plus integral of a to b x dash t dt. Same formula I'm applying. So how do you find x of 1? First I need to find where it has farthest. So first I need to find the maximum or the minimum value here, the minimum value. First I need to find the critical point. Then you need to do all these steps, then only get marks. You need to apply the concept. I'm finding the critical point, then I'm finding it is a local minimum. Since it is a local minimum, it is the farthest from the point. So local minimum is happening when t equal to 1. So I need to find the coordinates. So finally, I'm finding what they're asking. What they're asking me, they're asking me to find the value of x of 1 and y of 1, the coordinates at t equal to 1. So how do you find x of 1? X of 1 is given by x of 0 plus integral of 0 to 1 x dash of t dt. So x of 0 is minus 2 plus integral of 0 to 1. What is your x dash of t? T minus 1 into e power t square into dt. You do this, you get some value, add minus 2, you'll get x of 1. You just need to know this simple. Even third one is not difficult here, but you need to use brain. I need to find the coordinates, means first find critical point, then minimum or maximum, then find x of 1. Now y of 1 is also very simple. How do you find y of 1? Y of 1 is y of 0 plus integral of 0 to 1 y dash of t dt. Y of 0 is 5 plus integral of 0 to 1. What is y dash of t dt? Sine of t power 1.25 dt. You just simplify this in calculator, add 5, you get y of 1. Definitely this question will be for 4 marks. This will be for 2 marks. This will be for 2 marks, because so many things I need to explain here. So if you do x of 1 correct, you get 1 mark, and you get y of 1 correct, you get 1 mark. One more thing I need to highlight to the students: if you are getting answer in decimals, if it is a calculator based question, it is given in the AP calculus rules, you need to write to the 3 decimals. Suppose if your answer is 2, 9, 5, 6, 4, you need to write 0.3, you won't get marks. You should write 0.296. Whenever you are rounding off for a decimal questions in AP calculus, make sure that you write 3 decimals. You should round off to the 3 decimals, mandatory, to get the full marks. Okay, so even x of 1 and y of 1, you should write it to the 3 decimals, whatever is the answer. But I hope everyone is clear how to find x of 1 and y of 1. I'm trying my best to explain as fundamental as possible. I'm not using any high-fi formulas. I'm not bringing something from there. But you should have at least some base in your mind. So using the fundamental theorem of calculus, x of b is given is equal to x of a plus integral of a to b f dash x dx. Same thing I'm using here, fundamental theorem of calculus. So x of 1 is given as x of 0. So even if you don't know, if I know x of 0, how to find x of 1? Using a wonderful formula which we have told. So this is called fundamental theorem of calculus. What is fundamental? Integral of a to b f dash x dx is f of b minus f of a. So f of b is also given by f of a plus this one. The same thing I'm using the fundamental theorem of calculus. I'm not using any magics here. I'm not doing any high level magics here. I'm using some simple basics to get to the points. Correct, right? Now there is a last part for this. This will give you 3 marks, pakka, and there is some last thing. For that, we'll give the conclusion and we'll try to explain how to solve. If there is time, I'll solve third question. I think at least I'll start solving third question and I'll leave in between and I'll continue the next class. Saturday, we'll have maximum class. I'll try to cover, but please don't come to the class to listen to my words. You listen to Venkat words, you get nothing. You need to solve before coming to the class. Don't see the solutions available in the net. If you see the solutions, your brain will never work. It will become dead. Think, try to solve. You make mistakes or even you don't know, no problem, even after you're trying, but you try sincerely. I highlight what is the important points, even what you need to find. If you have listened to my explanation, I'm not doing any magic, but I'm applying some basics. Speed is modulus of velocity of t, acceleration is, but you need to know that basic. Sir, even I don't know that basic means I just know what is integral of x. You cannot do. Those are formulas, but some basic is required. Fundamental theorem of calculus is required. You need to know what is fundamental theorem of calculus, everything. Okay, yeah. Now in parts, 99% of the question is done, just last part is left. So I'm erasing this. So what is the last part that is given in the question? Explain why there is no point at which the particle is farthest to the right for t greater than 0. Explain why there is no point at which the particle is farthest to the right for t greater than or equal to 0. Means I need to see how the particle is moving. What I explained you to find whether the particle is moving right or left when I'm explaining this concept. So first I need to see what is x dash of t. X dash of t has a local minimum and t equal to 1. Okay, at t equal to 1, it has a local minimum, means after for value for t greater than 1, I get x dash of t is positive. For value for t less than 1, I get negative. So again, it is moving to the right. After t equal to 1, it is moving to the left. Again, it is moving to the right. So it will go on. So we cannot say there is a particle which is farthest from this point because the particle started moving to the right. That is the reason. Since x dash of t is positive for t greater than 1, we cannot say that there is no particle that is right to the for t greater than 0. That's it. There is not much explanation for this. So this is part 1 and 2. Now we are understanding where to use calculator, how to use calculator. So to find derivative of a function, integral of a function, only those are the two basic things that you need to learn while using the calculator. Even if you're too dependent on the calculator, you cannot get good marks in AP calculus. It is very easy to get calculus, but what is the most important thing from my 2 questions explanation? Basic. If you see the first question also, I know some basics. I know what is I need. They're expecting you to learn what is Riemann sum, what is increasing function, decreasing function, and they're asking you to explain what is the basic of derivative of a function, and they're also expecting you to know what is the average value of a function. That is the concepts they are testing in the first question. If you know that, question is nothing. What they're expecting in the second question, they're expecting whether you know how to find speed when the position of the position vector is given, and how to find acceleration when the position vector is given. They're also expecting you to know the total distance traveled by a form object, integral of a to b, s of t dt, or modulus of v of t dt. And they're also expecting you to know fundamental theorem of calculus, and they're also expecting you to know how to get the maximum and the minimum value of the function. So how do you get the maximum value of the function? Maximum value of a function at local maximum or local minimum, how do you find? To the left of the point if the slope is positive, and to the right of the point if the slope is negative. See, positive, it is coming to the negative. So if the slope is changing from positive to negative at that point, so definitely I can say it is a local maxima. A local minima means it is changing from the slope is negative because angle made by this is greater than 90. Now the slope is positive. So if the slope is changing from negative to positive, so at that critical point, I can say I have a local minima. At this point, I have a local maxima. So with the testing, whether you know this simple local minima, local maxima concept, and they're also testing your fundamental theorem of calculus concept. That's it. Okay. Yeah. So third question we'll see later on here. Let's see. They give graph area integral of a to b f of x dx. So finding a and b, dead easy. Find the particular spelling of radius, largest, even here, like if you see here, right? Farthest, largest means I need to find the critical points, local minima or local maxima. So I need to find the minimum or the maximum here. And they're asking you to find the volume. So they're expecting you to 3 formulas. In this question also, again, they're expecting you to know 3 simple basics. what is the area of a function? Integral of a to b f of x dx. Then in the next question is largest, so definitely you need to find some maximum or minimum. When we are doing the question, we can find. So again, they're testing your whether you know the concepts of local maxima or local minima in part B. Part C, again, volume. So volume, when you rotate about x-axis, what is the formula? Pi into integral of a to b f of. You need to have all this in your brain. I have in my brain because I practice. These days I'm not practicing, but 4 or 5 years back I used to teach a lot, so they're fixed in my mind. You should also fix in your mind. You should revise. So volume of a function, I clearly gave it in your notes. When I'm rotating about x-axis, pi into integral of a to b f of x whole square into dx. What is my f of x? This function. Next class, I'll explain again in detail. They're just testing 3 simple basic things, whether you know in calculus or not. If you know, the rest of the things is we can do step by step. So, but anyway, I'll cover this paper and I'm going to give you one more paper. Please do solve. Please do maintain your own notes. Please don't see the solutions in the net. You will get pakka 5 out of 5, but you need to solve all the MCQ questions I gave from the book using your brain. Okay, so I'll see you on Saturday. Even physics classes will complete very soon. Classes are not important. How well you are working is important to me. Please do solve. Physics mechanics is dead easy. Very easy to get 5 out of 5 if you can solve all the papers that I had given to you. Okay, I'll see you in the next class. Take care. Bye.